Net1 UEPS Technologies, right? This is the old Applitech, they used to call it. Now, we include it in this segment because in some senses you might say, well, look, this is not really a bank, and I think that is correct. But the most significant part of their business is payment solutions and transaction processing services. Remember, this is the company that has the contract, currently anyway, to handle the Social Security Agency's distribution of social grants in this country. So that comes by way of a token of value in a card, which people then can use to encash and buy things at retailers and other outlets. The company has done some interesting fancy footwork over the years and re-engineered itself into an offshore listing, and in fact maintains a dual listing on the Nasdaq in the United States of America. Much bigger than people think. It's got 10.7 billion rands worth of market cap. Serge Bellamant, the CEO, is not the controlling shareholder, but he has been at the helm a long time. PE ratio, I'm seeing here, is not coming up as applicable. I'll have to look into that, and is not currently paying dividends. That part is correct. I'm not sure about the PE ratio. Maybe they had some funnies in their recent set of reports.
Often you actually find that. Look, little bit of controversy around this one. It's got this social thing, and they've handed it back, and the US...
Because the allegation was that there were irregular things done, not necessarily by this company, but
in the tender process.
In the tender process of awarding this, and the two competitors were this company and Paymaster or Cashmaster or something, which is the Barclays Africa subsidiary.
And what happened is it went to the Constitutional Court, I think. I think it went as high as that, and they said, you've got to reissue the tender because of irregularities.
But in the meantime, they get to keep it.
They're still keeping it, but they've handed back the contract, even though they're still doing it. And then they came under investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commissions because they're Nasdaq listed. Now that lawsuit has apparently been dropped, but the US Treasury Department is still investigating them. And unfortunately, even though the underlying results aren't bad, they're trying to expand. Well, not trying to. They are expanding their business. They're going global. They're in South Korea. They're in Nigeria. They've got a
thing called Zazu thing, which is the Easy Pay thing.
The Easy Pay, and so they are doing a lot. The pensions or the grant thing is about 25-26% of revenue. It used to be 50%.
So it's not as big as that.
So it's not as big as what it was, but obviously it is still big. And any company like this has got high financial gearing. In other words, big fixed costs. And you can't necessarily trim your fixed costs down.
Share price chart there. So while we've all been quietly thinking, well, look, there's a bit of a scandal going on here, maybe we better avoid this one, it's gone up,
It's gone up through the roof, a little bit weak in the last couple of
It's a rather illiquid stock, though, it must be said, because there's a big block of shares which are owned by the offshore entity. In the local market. You just get the sense that it's almost like an inward listing, which doesn't perform much.
And of course, they state quite clearly in the latest results that the weaker emerging market currencies doesn't suit them enough. But the problem is whenever a company gets involved with tender irregularities and regulation and investigation by US authorities,
quite difficult to
as an investor, you've just got to stand back. No matter how good the results were, no matter how good the prospects are, you've just got to stand back.
So you're going to go not hot on this
one?
Not hot, yeah, it is a pity, but I'm going to echo that as well.